Are you ready to up-level your communication skills? Then you're invited to a transformative communication class. It's the Sales Scripts for Increasing Influence Masterclass. Registration is now open. This class will equip you with the right words at the right time. The topics that we're going to cover are you're going to learn the art of turning objections into opportunities so you can watch your sales soar. You're going to master the ability to convey your message with precision and clarity. You're going to discover some persuasive techniques that prompt immediate action by your prospects. And you're going to learn how to be more resilient in all of your sales conversations. And that's just the beginning. Go grab your ticket right now by going to yoursalesmaven.com/MC300 SEPT. That stands for Masterclass. Save yourself $300 in the month of September. So MC300 SEPT. Grab your ticket. You're going to get streamlined content. The class is divided into 3 easy digestible sections. You get timely access to the recordings. You can actually upgrade and get some coaching with me. And you're going to have 60 days of access to the recording so you can go back through again and again. Now, we are getting ready to send the workbooks to the printer. That means you have to grab your ticket now to ensure that your workbook arrives in time. It's a printed workbook. I mail it to you. You'll be able to refer back to it again and again and again. This is one of the best masterclasses, and it's the only one that I know that is teaching these types of skills with the sales component to it. So go grab your ticket by going to yoursalesmaven.com/MC300 SEPT. I'll see you in class.
Do sales conversations make you feel awkward or pushy? It's time to ditch the outdated salesy strategies. Your guide, Nikki Rausch, will show you how to combine kindness with selling skills to meet your prospects where they are, and in the process, how to up-level your influence and income. Learn how to earn business easily and effortlessly. Here's Nikki.
Welcome, and thank you for listening to the Sales Maven Show. I'm your host, Nikki Rausch. Today's episode is part of the Mastering Excellence series. This concept comes from my background in neuro-linguistic programming, where we learn that there is a structure to excellence. And once you understand the structure, you can then apply that structure to your own life and business and get similar results to the experts that I interview. Today's guest, I'm particularly excited about. It's my friend, Holly Hillyer. Let me tell you a little bit about Holly in case you're not familiar with her yet. Holly helps female entrepreneurs create social media and email marketing systems to grow 6- and 7-figure businesses without being tied to their phones all day. She's an industry expert, and she's grown multiple 7-figure social selling businesses and is the founder of 7 Strong, a strategic coaching business for the online entrepreneur and creator of the 7 Strong social method. Holly is also the host of the 7 Strong podcast, creator of the 7 Strong Planner, and a mom of 3 wild boys in Charleston, South Carolina. Holly, welcome to the show, friend.
My goodness. Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm so excited to have this conversation with you. We're going to be talking about something that I think is going to blow people's minds. But before we get into it, well, here's the topic we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about converting followers into email subscribers. I think it's that like unicorn that we're all striving for, and you have figured it out. And I'm so excited to like dig into your structure with it. But before we do that, I want to give some context to how you and I know each other for the audience. I was so incredibly honored and grateful to get asked to participate in a mastermind group back in 21-22 with Liz Harkey of Luminary Leadership. And you were one of the fellow participants with me. And I will say from the first night, I think that we sat next to each other at dinner, I was like, man, I could sit and listen to you and have a conversation with you for hours on end. You are so interesting. You're so kind. You're so smart. And just really a wealth of knowledge, and also really curious too. So I just want to say I'm a big fan.
I felt the same way. Anyone that I can sit down at dinner and, like you said, like ask the questions and figure out like, well, what are you doing? And how can we all like be better together? Like those are my people. I can sit at dinner and talk business constantly. Small talk, not so much, but business, yes.
And it was, I mean, I was just like, this is like probably one of my favorite dinners I've ever like had such really like rich conversation.
It's amazing.
And really it was like you were such a great facilitator of this. But I want to get in a little bit before we dive into the actual questions, a little bit more about your background. So do you mind sharing a little bit with the audience about you? And
yeah, it's been a crazy ride. So my background is actually in mechanical and aerospace engineering. That's like what I went to school for, where like the corporate world took me. And so I have a very like systems mind. I like a process a lot. Give me a process that I can follow and I feel at ease. So that's like where I really started. But I soon figured out like the corporate world just wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. I wanted more time freedom really, and more just flexibility in my life. And so I found myself in network marketing. I mean, I had never in my life thought I would get into network marketing. That was like it wasn't even on my radar. I didn't even really understand what it was. But what it did allow me to do was to work my full-time corporate job and build a business on the side. And while I was building that business, that's really when I started to learn all about social media. So I started that business with less than 400 friends on Facebook, no Instagram. I mean, I was an engineer who didn't even like, I would post my, like, I say I like to post my highlight reel on social media. I never used it. So while building that business, I really had to figure out, how do I use social media to grow a legitimate business and income in small pockets of time? Because I was working full time. We moved pretty much every 2 years. During this time, we also lived in France. And so getting out and networking in person just wasn't something that was happening for me. I have young kids and babies. And so social media became the free way for me to find my ideal clients and grow that business. And so grew my network marketing business. To the top. It was amazing. My team's incredible.
I want to just like interrupt there for just 1 second, because I feel like you just, you said like to the top, like she means the number one person in her company year after year.
Yeah.
Like she means when she's saying the top, she doesn't mean just like amongst the crowd. She was the top in her company, and it's a huge company. I don't know if you want to share what company it is, totally up to you. But like we're sitting here talking to somebody who has achieved a level of success that very few people I have ever met have achieved.
Well, thank you. Yeah. So, and I'm perfectly fine sharing the company. So the company it's Body, formerly known as Beachbody. So the health and fitness world, which I always loved that. So it became this really natural fit. And so, yeah, I mean, helping women find their confidence again and just get to be their healthiest selves really fit. And then from there, it was like, whoa, I can help women grow businesses and like their financial futures. And that I fell in love with. And as soon as I knew like, okay, how do I help women who maybe have no background in business legitimately grow businesses from home, is when I started putting the systems into place. And those systems are what allowed us to, become a top team year over year. And then I realized I don't just want to do this within network marketing. I started seeing all these other incredible female entrepreneurs who were posting every day on social media, trying to grow their businesses, and yet never gaining traction. And I know as someone, young kids at home, and we're all we have very little time, all of us, no matter what your home situation is like, we have very little time. And so when we're constantly pouring to social media and getting nothing out of it, it's very frustrating. And so I was like, well, how do I help these women go from, they're doing the work, right? Yeah. We're putting the time into creating the content, and it's not doing anything. So how do we take that same time and actually make it work for us? And that's when I decided I was going to create 7 Strong. And really it started with, I have one main course, the Blueprint to Social Selling. And that I created to take women from how do I create content that converts all the way through the email marketing side. Because that was the other piece that I saw that was
right.
Right. It's like, okay, well, what happens when you do grow these huge followings? Then I was watching them be like chained to their phones and constantly in their DMs. I'm like, but if you just collect email addresses, we can actually then convert them while you're being present with your family. And you can make more sales and you can serve more people. And so it was like, how do we go from, okay, I'm just looking to grow a huge following because I think that's going to grow a big business, to, all right, I'll help you grow a huge following that is then going to convert into the income and impact that you really want through email marketing and real sales systems.
That's
and
right.
So that's kind of the crazy path. But yeah, it all started with network marketing and then just watching women work really, really hard and just not see the results I knew that they deserved.
Yeah. And I don't know this yet. I mean, I don't want to make an assumption. Where does 7 Strong come from?
Yeah, so I know. So 7 Strong, and it's funny because I received a lot of pushback on this name. So 7 Strong, because only 2% of female entrepreneurs make over 7-figure, grow 7-figure businesses, 2%. And so when I started this company, everyone was like, well, if you say 7 figures or name it 7 Strong for 7 figures, there's just a lot of women who don't think they can do it. You really got to stick to the 6-figure place. I was like, no, because every woman I believe, because I've done it, because I help other women do it, that any woman who wants to create a 7-figure business can do it. And by me saying, well, I'm gonna keep it small, I just feel like I'm putting a cap on women. And so yeah, 7 Strong is there to help more female entrepreneurs scale, to that 7-figure point. And like, we are just gonna take the cap off that 2%.
I love that so much. I love that you got pushback and you like leaned in and named your business that anyway. I got the same with Sales Maven. People are like, you cannot put sales in the name of your business. They're like, people will not hire you. I got told that like 5 different people who I love and trust. And they were all like, don't do this. This is a mistake. And I was like, I'm doing it anyway. I'm going to lean in.
You do. It's what you do. And that's what I'm like, I'm going to help you make 7 figures. And so you may not believe it right now, but we'll get you there. We're going to get you there. You're going to believe it. Like, yeah. It's too, it was people I know, love, and trust. But I was like, sometimes I feel you just know, like, when it's the right thing.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Okay. And I keep saying we're going to get into these questions. I promise we're going to get there, but I do want to just touch base with you a little bit to give some context so that people understand you are getting some really like almost unbelievable results right now of what you've done to grow your following and then how you've converted. Do you mind sharing some of the stats that you and I were talking about the other day?
Yes. So I have on Instagram, my account is Holly_Hillyer, and you can check out and you'll see the process we're going to talk about in action there. So when I released the Blueprint to Social Selling this past April, I was like, well, I should probably put like my 7 Strong social method. I need to put it into practice, right? If this is what I'm teaching clients, let me be my best case study. And so I put into practice, and again, we'll get into some of these things, but put it into practice. And my account in the last 90 days has grown over 20,000 followers. I have just in the last week, for the last 10 days, it's the most recent I've looked back at my email list, has grown by over 1,000 email subscribers per day. So 1,000
people
per day. Yeah. So in the last 10 days, we're over 10,000 new email subscribers. So, and this is where it's like, okay, the 20,000 followers, great in 90 days, but 10,000 email list subscribers is huge. And then since we've made the change within the last month, 45 days, 30 to 45 days, I'm trying to think of the exact, but our revenue has grown by 25%. So we
So
increased sales by
amazing.
25% on a company that, and Holly Hillyer is my like wellness business. And so,
Mhm.
I've had my wellness business for 8 years. So it's very established. This is a 7-figure business. So when I say revenues increased by 25%, 25% is a large number on a business that was already doing very well.
Yeah. That's a lot of revenue.
Yeah.
That's a lot of revenue. Okay. I love this so much. All right. So we're going to talk about Holly's system of converting followers into email subscribers. Because again, I think a lot of people can teach you what to do on social media. And there's people out there that can teach you kind of how to market to your email subscribers. And I even do some trainings around this too from a sales perspective. But what Holly is doing that I think is so special and unique is taking those followers and actually getting them onto your email list, which is I personally think it's like secret sauce, people. So I'm super excited to dig in. All right. So here's my first very NLP question for you. If I got to stand in for you for a day, if I got to be Holly for a day, what would I have to do or think in order to kind of really approach this idea of, all right, how am I going to convert my followers into email subscribers?
Yeah. So the first step is understanding who you even want to come, what community do you want to create? Who are these followers, right? Because your followers are your ideal clients. And where this really starts for me is, if you already have 600 people on your account, like what I want to do is I want to help you grow with ideal clients. So because those ideal clients are going to connect to our freemium. So the first thing I ask myself is, who do I want coming to my account and being a part of my community? I want to start like clean slate new. Because again, I'm not sure who you've got there, right? Who's there and what they're there for. So we're going to start clean slate. Who am I bringing in? And ideal client. And we have to be super specific. And where I want, avatar, like that, ideal clients all thrown around. And when, a couple of years ago, it was, like, how old are they? Like, where do they shop? What do they love? Like, I actually don't care about any of that. I want to know the exact problem that you're solving for them and the solution that they're looking for. So where are they right now struggling? So if I'm thinking of in my wellness account, it is a postpartum mom who wants to lose weight. This is the place that she is at. And now, again, you have to get super specific. Like this isn't just like a postpartum mom, or a mom. This is like newly postpartum wants to lose weight, because some people don't want to lose weight, right? Like that's not the goal. So extremely specific. And then I need to connect that to the feelings that she's going to feel afterwards. So after she buys your product, how will your ideal client feel? My ideal client is going to feel confident. They're going to have their energy back. And if I was to step back and look like something I could see with my eyes at how this product has changed their life, I am going to see a mom who's able to chase after her kids at the playground, who's down on the floor playing with them, not in pain, who's shopping her own closet and putting on her clothes without thinking about it. I want you to create this list of things that your ideal client, if you were to look at her once you solve her problem, what could you see? Because we're going to use this to create content that she then is like, oh my gosh, yes, she can then see herself doing those things. And your product's the one thing that can solve this issue for her. So when I'm thinking of ideal client, again, I'm thinking, where is she? What are her pain points? Aspirationally, where does she want to be? And what are stories that we can tie around that? So once I really know like the person I'm talking to, and again, this all has to connect. Oh, also with that person, I want to think about what are her objections. So this is really, really big. Like why won't your product work for her? Why doesn't she want it? What is she? So for me in the wellness space, one of the big objections that I get is like, listen, I don't want to be on a diet. I don't want to be on a diet, which I don't either. I don't want to be on a diet. I want to enjoy all the foods. I want to enjoy celebrations and birthday parties and eat what I want to eat, because we only get one life.
Mm-hmm.
And I completely agree. And so when I know that objection, when I know that's what she's thinking, well, I'm not going on another diet, I'm able to start putting that into content. So I know these are things, where they are, where they want to go, objections. So then the next piece is, let me get super specific. Again, we talked about avatar, and then we're going to go even more into like the niche piece, because again, postpartum weight loss, okay, that could be a niche. And a lot of people stop there. And this is what's happening on social media, is we're actually not going deep enough. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take that niche, I'm going to take one of her objections, and I'm going to infuse that injection into every single piece of content that I do. So niche for me is, okay, I've got this postpartum mom. She's like, listen, I'm not willing to give up. I don't want to diet. I'm not willing to give up the delicious foods I want to eat and, celebrate the birthdays and holidays with my family. And so I decided, great, I am going to help postpartum moms lose weight without giving up desserts. So the without giving up desserts, that's the piece that gets their attention. Wait a minute. How? Right? Because that's the objection. I said, no, you don't have to give that up. Now, the dessert and weight loss, when I bring those together, I create a niche that, again, postpartum, there's a million people telling you how to lose weight out there, right? It's like one of the biggest industries ever.
Yeah.
When I combined the postpartum weight loss, the avatar for me, and the niche of desserts, I created something much smaller that spoke to a pain point an objection so many women had. So I started creating content with one focus. So I have my avatar. I know my niche is now, I'm going to help you lose weight without giving up desserts. Now, how do I make that into content? I literally am just going to create dessert recipes to help you lose weight. Now that content, within content, we have to do storytelling and there's a lot more behind it. But I have one piece of content that I produce over and over and over again. I'm going to give you dessert recipes. And we tend to think, well, gosh, like I'm just saying the same thing. Like how I lost 47 pounds postpartum, while eating desserts. Like I say it again and again and again and again. Mm-hmm. All my content is that. So what happens when I have a reel that takes off, one, my ideal client's like, oh my gosh, like this speaks to me. But when she comes to my account, she doesn't just see that one piece of content that serves her. She's like, oh my gosh, like it is binge worthy. And that's what I want my account to be. I want someone to come in and binge my account. If I can get them to read the bio, see themselves in that bio, see their problem in that bio and how I solve it, and be like, oh my gosh, these are dessert recipes that actually help me lose weight. When I can get them to click on one of the reels, they just keep scrolling them and they all go together and they all tell a similar story and all of them solve her problem. So that's amazing. And that grows your social media. But here's where it becomes so easy to grow your email list. All those people are there for one problem and one solution. All I have to do is create a freemium with that same problem addressed. So what do I create? Everyone comes to me because they want dessert recipes. They know. And I mean, can you think about I don't want to be known as the girl who helps people like lose weight. I want people to like, oh, I need a dessert recipe, to be like, oh, let me go to Holly Hillyer, because they know that's where they're going to go, right? Like I want to be that expert, that niche. Now, how do I get them on an email list? I create a free dessert guide. So literally it's the exact content that I'm putting on there. I took 25 of those recipes. I put it in a little free PDF. And on every single piece of content, I say, comment dessert below if you want my free dessert PDF sent directly to you. And then I use mini chat to connect everything. So again, this is like systems, right? I create the one reel. I have a keyword that they type in. I then mini chat will directly send them a message in their DMs. I'm so excited. Drop my recipe guide. They click yes, which counts as like an opt-in, like they're agreeing to join your email list now. Awesome. Please enter your email address below. They enter their email address. It's connected to my email software. They get the PDF right away. I do not send the PDF. Some people will have ManyChat send the PDF like right in the DMs. You don't want to do that, right? Because you want them to go open the email.
That's right.
Thanks so much for your email. It's over in your inbox. Here is the subject line. Make sure to search that subject line because sometimes it ends up right in your promo folder or in spam. Let me know if there's anything else I can serve you with. But now I'm also directing them straight to that email. It's timely. They want it right away. They're finding it. They're opening it. So now I'm more likely to have my other emails directly delivered to them. My open rates are insane, like 78% open rates on my emails. It's wild because they want it, right? They actually want it. It's a valuable enough freemium to them. And then I have a nurture series, 4-part sales nurture series setup that I'm selling and converting.
Yeah.
But it's becoming so specific. Once your content is so specific, all you do, like, I'm just going to create another dessert recipe guide, like part 2. And then we're actually going to make a cookbook that like for $25, right? Low cost offer. And I'll get them pulling out their credit card. And I know that that'll just increase our higher level sales even more. So you can start layering so many different layers on it by just becoming so clear on that one piece that they want.
Okay. I feel like you just gave us a masterclass in that one answer. It was so good. I want to go back and just highlight some of the things I wrote down for the listener. So in case you missed any of these or to reinforce, and also Holly, to give you an opportunity to please correct anything I say that, like, maybe if I've missed the mark in any way. So the first thing, so I'm asking, like, I'm standing in for Holly for the day, and I'm really thinking about how am I going to convert these followers into email subscribers? So first thing is I'm going to have a really in-depth, like, brainstorming session with myself and ask, who do I want in my community? And this is like really starting fresh. Like, this is something you do today. Sit down, like, really do this brainstorming event. And then when you think about who that person is, what is the exact problem that they have and the solution that you have to solve that problem? So that's your next piece to do. Then you're going to think about connecting the feelings that the person has around having that solution, having solved the problem. How are they going to feel when that problem has been solved using your solution? And then next step is your stories all have to be tied around that, what it's going to feel like to have the solution. And then one of the other things that you said was really getting an understanding what are the objections that would cause them to not move forward with your solution. So once you understand what the objection is, why it wouldn't work for them or why they don't want it. So in Holly's case, it's like, I don't want to be on a diet. I don't want to give up like enjoying my time with my family and having dessert and eating the foods that I want. And really, I think in this, it's almost like you have to get so granular and you have to get so specific on what that is. And then the next step is you're going to infuse the objection into every piece of content that you create. You've got to put that objection in there and show how the solution it overcomes that objection for them, right? Yeah. And then you're so specific about this. And if you haven't checked out Holly's like Instagram page yet, go do it because it is so clear. And I noticed that you changed what you were doing on your Instagram. And I was like, look at all these amazing dessert, all of a sudden recipes that are coming from Holly. Like, this is so cool. And I watch every single one of your, like, I'm so in, like, Instagram knows I like your stuff. So it shows it to me all the time. So your content has to have that one focus. And you'll see this. It is so clear in Holly's Instagram feed. And
I
then,
think
oh, sorry.
One focus is what you're giving them then has to add value to their life or solve part one of like their problem, right? So like you have the solution that's going to solve the whole thing. You want to give them like the step one.
Yes.
Because everyone on social media right now is what's in it for me. So your account should it is 100% about them. It is 100% providing them value. So people are following me because they're like, yay, like, look at these dessert recipes. They're going to help me lose weight. Well, no, they're actually just saving them. And then they're like, okay, maybe I need the full program to make this work. But like, it is like, it's got to be value. Yeah.
Love it. Okay. I also love that you talk about this, like give them that first step because you've got the full solution. But it's the first step often. And I think I just did a podcast episode about this. I don't know if it's aired yet, but it's the first step usually that keeps people stuck. Like we know that from my background in NLP, that most people, they just struggle with that first step. But once they can get the first step under their belt, then they're off to the races. Like they're headed towards their goal. So I love that you specifically commented on that. There's so much clarity in the way that you think, the way that you speak, Holly, like it is so clear. Like you've got this structure. It's rock solid. I'm like, my brain loves the way Holly thinks and the way that she speaks. It's so satisfying to my brain to be around somebody who has so much clarity in their message. I love it so much. All right. And then your premium, or you call it a freemium. I think I've only ever heard you use that word. I love that word so much. Your freemium is going to be something that specifically solves the problem and addresses the problem. And everything is going to be driving to that freemium. And then you're going to give them a way to get the freemium on the social post, but that it's not that you just send them the PDF and you've got to get them to give up the email address. And you said some other things too here that I thought was really clever. And I don't know that I've ever heard anybody say this. So now I'm like, I got to start telling my clients to do this too. And I need to incorporate this, that you have to tell them what the subject line is that they should search. I think that alone is worth listening to this podcast episode, not to mention all the other amazing gold nuggets that you just gave. Like, Holly, you've blown my mind. And for her to say,
it helps so because I get people, they're looking for it. They're like, oh, I didn't get it. And I'm like, oh, check your spam under this. So as soon as I said that 3 times, I was like, well, now I'm just like going to tell everyone where it is. And it's been huge for open rates.
So great. So smart. All right. Before this podcast even airs, I'm going to be sending it to my social media people and asking them to listen. Like, this is what I want happening. This is amazing, amazing, amazing. Okay. I don't know how much more we're going to go down this because I feel like you nailed it for us, Holly, but I want to just check in to my questions here and just see when I'm going to ask them because you might agree that you've already answered them, but I also just want to see what bubbles to the surface out of your brilliant brain. So my next question is going to be, what are your goals when it comes to converting followers into email subscribers?
Yeah, my goodness. So this has been very interesting because this is the first time I've really just every single social media post driven them to my premium, like every single one. And so my goal is to get 50% of my followers to opt in. That's really where I started. What is happening now is I'm getting more people joining my email list than are following me.
Wow.
This has been a very interesting shift.
Yeah.
And it comes down to user behavior on the Instagram platform. So as my reels are pushed out to, the Explore feed, people will watch them within the Explore feed. We want to help people take the least amount of action to get the result we want, right? So for them to follow me, they are having to Instagram doesn't make it super easy. I mean, they can click my name at the top, or they can click it by the caption, but it's small, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not large. But when they're watching the reel, always at the end of the reel on the screen, not only within the caption, so it says this within the caption, but also on the screen, comment dessert to be sent my free healthy dessert guide. Now, all they have to do is click within the box and click comment and write dessert. They do not have to go to my profile. They do not have to then find the reel again. So more people are just commenting in the comment box, clicking dessert, than they are going to my profile, reading bio, scrolling, making sure they like me before they click follow. They actually would rather give me an email address right then and there, staying in that native like explore feed, than they would going to a profile and checking out. They're like, I don't need to follow another person, right? I don't need to follow someone else. But they're going to give me a free dessert guide? Great. So I am currently collecting more email addresses than I am followers. So right now, my goal is 1,000 new email subscribers per day and about 500 new followers a day. So it flipped. So I want to get half the number of email subscribers over to followers. And this is where, when we went back and said, like, it's not about the followers that I have. I know I'm serving them. They're being, and we could talk about carousels or where I serve my current customers. Like that's like a whole nother conversation, but I am always thinking about finding the new follower out there. So that avatar is for like my new person, because those are the people that are going to see me in the explore feed. Those are the people that like I really need to connect with and give them value, because they don't know me, they don't like me, they don't trust me, right? None of that.
Mm-hmm.
But if they can see this is just valuable to me in my life, they'll give me their email address from the explore feed even before they press follow.
Awesome. Amazing.
Yeah.
That is, again, another little masterclass right there that you just gave, with this idea of the fact that you are getting new subscribers and that it isn't about the followers. And also, I just want to say, because I feel like there's so many people out there, coaches and gurus, that are telling people you don't need an email list to build your business. And I always say, but your email list is an asset in your business. And Holly is somebody who has, I don't know by the time this airs how many follows you'll have on Instagram, but I think you're over 80,000. Is that right?
Yeah, we're about at 80,000 right now.
About 80,000. So that's not chump change. Like that's a lot of legitimate followers that you have. And even you understand that it isn't about the followers, it's about the subscribers to your email list, because that's where the selling is happening.
100%. And if you look at your data, so I'm obsessed with actually looking at the data, like not just like, oh, I got this many views or this many likes, like none of that. The views matter, but the views only matter if we break it down, followers, non-followers, all of that. But when you look at that data, 2% of your followers on average see your content. So you're telling me 2%, I'm spending all this time creating this, and 2% of my followers may see it. Like, and your Instagram can be gone in a second. And any of your social media can be gone in a second. You do not own it.
That's right.
Your email list is everything, and your open rates are higher. That's where like you can do more of your storytelling. If we look at people's attention span on social media versus email, they will give you more of their time reading email, because we sit down with a different expectation when we open email than we do when we scroll social media. And so we have to think about all of that too. How are we consuming? How are we buying, right? How are we even able to sell natively within the platform versus through email? So email's everything. And it is one of the biggest mistakes, especially like when I was only in the network marketing space. Like we're so worried, or social selling space, we're so worried about follower count. And to me, you've got to understand how that follower count equates to email addresses. Like if you're not getting email addresses, like it kills me. It kills me. It doesn't make sense. It's not a business.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I have some real strong feelings about this. So, okay. So I love this so much. All right. So I asked about your goals. How do you know you're achieving your goals? How do you know?
I'm obsessed. So I'm obsessed with data. As I said, I'm obsessed. So I actually review my my Reels performance. I review it within an hour of it being posted, because that I can tell you right there within an hour of it being posted if it's going to be like uber viral, a good one, or like, yeah, no, this one didn't hit the mark. Like within an hour, because the Instagram algorithm responds so quickly, I can tell. So this is another part of asking people to comment like a keyword. If you get people commenting quickly, the algorithm loves you. And the thing with mini chat, not only are they commenting, I can respond automatically with a comment. Now for every one comment, there's actually two, because I responded. So the algorithm's like, wow, she's engaging, she's interacting. I'm getting tons of comments, which is going to push my content out faster. So the faster I can get comments on there, the faster I'm getting them opting into freemiums, the better it's working for me within the algorithm. So I'm looking at that like within the hour. Is this going to be good? What are we thinking for this one? Then the next morning, I am reviewing like within 24 hours. What was it? How did that one do within 24 hours? And then I look back at my last 5, because reels will perform. They'll randomly get pushed out different places. It's really the only piece of content to me that has like a longer lifespan on social media, because I'll have some go viral from like a week or 2 previously. I'm like, where did this come from? So I go back and I'm quickly reviewing just views in my feed. So I can be like, okay, did any of these really pick up? If they did, what's happening? I'm also, you can see where I look at my mini chat numbers. So, okay, wait, do I have an uptick in number of opt-ins? Yes, no. And my assistant, we had to like upgrade. She was like, what is happening? Like this is another thing. So we put them on Facebook and Instagram. And I had one, she was like, it's going viral on both platforms. Like we can't, this isn't. And I was like, that is also very interesting to me, how content does on both platforms and studying that. So I'm always studying how that content's doing. And then once I know, okay, this one did well, you can look within your insights. And most of my reels are like 15 seconds or less. And so I can see when viewers dropped off. So 100% watch for the first 3, 6, however many seconds. And if there's a big dip and it's consistent across different reels, I can say, okay, like something's not, it's not attention grabbing enough. But I'll also look and be like, this one did really well. And maybe this started with a video of me. Maybe this one started with a video of food. Like literally looking into each second where the drop off happened and understanding what my audience really wants and what they're like, no, because we've got like 2 to 3 seconds to grab them in the beginning. And that goes, headlines. What headline is grabbing them? What first, caption line is grabbing them? So I am studying like all of that, but social media is so fast moving that you can do it really quickly, right? Okay, this one did well. Let me look at this. Great. I'm going to go recreate that piece of content again today. Like, it's not like this like huge thing, but we have to really be looking at it and looking for patterns. And then scheduling, I have kind of 3 kind of types of posts I do all around the same thing, right? All around like desserts, whereas like one will be a dessert recipe. One's my 3 favorite XYZ. And then one will be like a carousel of just really helpful, like my meal plan or 5 healthy dinners. So I know the carousels perform very differently than the reels, but I have different goals for that performance and how they're serving my audience. Reels are for new reach, carousels to serve my current audience. But I only know those things because of the data. And then that allows me to go in and schedule. The other thing you can look at is how it performs per day, right? Does it perform differently on a Friday or Saturday versus a Monday, Tuesday? For me, yes, 100%. I can tell you like when my audience is going to be there. Holidays, right? Understanding how holidays affect your social media content. And if you're going to be posting and when you're going to be posting, times a day, all of that. So I don't even remember your original question, except I look at all the data.
That's perfect. That's the answer right there, is that you really are digging into the data and being strategic about what can I tweak, what can I change, without throwing everything out, it's like, okay, so can we tweak a headline? Can we tweak what we do what we show them in the first 2 seconds? Or, and I also love to, and this isn't necessarily a specific question, but I'm curious about your answer, is I think you alluded to this. I'm noticing that you're repurposing your content in a lot of different ways, which of course, like, it feeds my soul. I love repurposing content. Would you mind speaking to that a little bit?
Yeah, 100%. So, one thing, when I was first start making this change in my account, right? Everything's like new, right? So I'm having to create so much content. And one of the biggest things with social media too is just consistency. Mm-hmm. So like, okay, you've got to try something for a couple of weeks, even just so when people come there, they're like, okay, I see what they're doing, right? So like, if one doesn't work, of course your first one didn't do that well, right? Because people are like, what are you doing? What is this? But once I had this good batch of, okay, I'm just going to try these dessert recipes, see how this plays. Now you're right. We're getting ready to go on vacation for a week. So I'm like, okay, I got to create all my content. So this morning I sat down, and it's funny because I was like, gosh, I have to make all these recipes for next week. I'm literally going to do two recipes for the next 9 days. So I have 2 new recipes I have to make. And then everything else will be what you said, repurposed. So I'll go grab the 3 favorite cookie dough recipes, the 3 favorite cookies, the 3 favorite candy bars, my 3 high protein breakfasts, 5 dinners, but they're all content that I've used, and I'm just clipping them into one reel. So it makes it so simple. Like, yes, in the beginning, I'm creating more content, but in the end, there's only so many dessert recipes I can make. So we're just going to have to but it's using different hooks, right? Yeah. And when you can use those different hooks, and it's very interesting when I'm studying this and some of these going viral, it's always about what people think is the most valuable to them. And so my most recent one that went viral was my 3 favorite cookies and candy bars. Well, it's 3 versus 1. So they're saving it. To them, it just seems like more value. And I could only fit 2 recipes in the caption. I couldn't even fit the 3rd one in the caption. I was like, I'll put it down below in in the comments. They don't care. They don't care because they just perceive that there's more value. So they're saving it more quickly. And then they see that there's 3. So they're like, okay, give me all 25 in your dessert guide. Mm-hmm. So it's I don't even know where that conversation started either.
Yeah, we were just talking about repurposing content. Yeah, it's so amazing.
Constantly. And then you can also put in blogs. It can be blogs, Pinterest. My goodness, and specifically for recipes, right? I just put it on a blog, put it over on Pinterest. There's just so many YouTube shorts. If you're making reels, just go post it on YouTube shorts, even if you're not using YouTube, right? I don't necessarily use TikTok, but you could repurpose on TikTok, right? There's so many different platforms. And again, I don't choose all of them. But I do, I just automatically post to Facebook. I don't even think about it. Automatically goes over there. I'm like, let's see what happens. And reels are the number 1 content going viral on Facebook right now. So, repurpose, place different places and kind of see what happens.
I love that. All right. Let me see. Where do I want to go next? There's so much. And also I know we're getting kind of to the end of the hour. So I think I'm going to wrap this part up and just be so grateful and thank you for all that you've shared. I feel like I just got a masterclass from you, and you're making me rethink a bunch of things. So I feel full. That's what I'm going to say. I feel like this was so satisfying. I love it. Okay. Now, with your permission, I'd love to ask you I always like to have a little fun questions at the end for people to get to know you in a little bit of a different context. Are you okay if I ask you? I always call this my little something extra about Holly. My first question for you is, what's something that brings you pleasure or joy?
Oh my gosh. I'm a beach person, or water. Put me on a boat or the beach. And that's why Charleston's my happy place. I just got to get outside and quiet. I am actually a big introvert. You're probably yeah, right. You just talked our head off in this podcast, but that's my recharge place for sure.
I love that about you. How do you celebrate your wins?
Oh, so I will say this is a weakness of mine. This is definitely a weakness of mine, celebrating wins, but this is like I mentioned, we're getting ready to go on a trip. For me, it needs to be kind of something big where I remove myself from my current life, right? I think so many of us who work in our homes and just everything, my whole life is in my house. So I remove myself from my home. So I like to do little like 3-day weekends away, but something where I can totally remove myself, or else it's very hard for me to pull away from my work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. What's one thing people would be surprised to learn about you?
Oh, I do think that I'm like a complete introvert because on social media, like I am like, I mean, I love this. Like I am obsessed with what I get to do. And I get very like animated and very excited. And I love my life. I love the life that this has created for me. And I'm insanely passionate about like, I just believe in my core that every woman can create whatever business she wants to create, whatever that looks like and whatever her life looks like. And so on social, I'm very, very intense. And so when people are like, when we get in person, I'm good when I'm like on, right? Like dinners. And so this is also part of me being like that introvert. Small talk is really uncomfortable to me. Networking is very hard unless I'm like, okay, so like, tell me about your business and like, how can we like work together? Let's talk about how I can serve you. So the introvert in me is very, very strong. And most people don't expect that. I have a very, very close group of friends, and it's like 1 or 2 people like that. That's it. I've got a very small little circle.
I love that. I would say I feel the same because I'm introverted as well. And I think that's probably why just sitting next to you at dinner and for you and I felt like sometimes I was like, I want to include everybody else too. So they didn't feel like I was just hogging all of your time, but I was just so like, oh my gosh, this is like the best experience that I've had in such a long time to just have that real connection.
Yeah,
Right.
like a real connection. Exactly.
Yeah.
Not small talk. Like just, yeah, put me beside someone else with that same passion and let's have like a real conversation that adds value. I think that's like, I I don't like wasting time. And that sounds
Yeah.
horrible, but sometimes I feel like small talk is such a waste of time. And I'm
Yeah.
like, we could go deeper. We could be bettering one another's lives. Like I want to be better when I leave a conversation, or I want to leave someone better than when I came.
Yeah, agree. I love that. Okay, what's something exciting going on in your business right now?
Oh my gosh. Oh my God. I mean, so I have, my body business, which is amazing. I started up 7 Strong, took a whole year off to just kind of be with my baby. And then we relaunched. He's 12 months old now. He just had his first birthday, but
Oh, he just turned 1 already? Oh my gosh,
like,
so
isn't that
fast.
insane? It's so fast. So I
I
took that
can't
year off.
believe he's 1 already. I'm like
That's what I
blown
was like,
away by that.
I know. I was like, I can't miss it because it goes so fast. So I
Yeah.
took that year off and just like soaked it all in. And like I said, we relaunched Blueprints of Social Selling in April. And that was just like a mini launch. But like, man, do I feel like I'm just like finding my stride with like 7 Strong and this new community of just course creators and just online business owners in this way that I've just never connected before. And we're preparing to launch again. And we have some other women who are helping me launch and affiliates, and like it's just been this really beautiful place of like, oh my gosh, we are both so strong in such different ways, and like our communities will be so much stronger because of that. I just really feel like I'm finally like I'm exactly where I should be, and like it's so much it's work in like the most fun, fulfilling way. I don't even know. It's like kind of like when you have this baby dream and then it starts coming true. That's like where I feel like I am right now.
I love that so much. All right. So I have no doubt that people listening are like, well, first of all, how can I connect with Holly and how can I get those dessert recipes? So because wait till you see the videos of them. I'm always like, oh, I should make that. So what is the best way for people to connect with you?
Yeah. So exactly the dessert, go make some desserts. That is on my Instagram, which is Holly_Hillyer, HILLYER. And then I have a different account for Seven Strong, and it's linked in that bio, but it's Seven Strong at Seven Strong Co. But yeah, just go over to Holly Hillyer. Everything happens there, and it'll point you back over to the business stuff if you're interested in that.
Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for having this conversation. And I want to say for the listener, if you're not in the Sales Maven Society, now's the time to join, because Holly's going to come in and do a special training for our group specifically. And she's agreed to let people ask her questions. I know my group is already getting excited to get to meet you and get to connect with you in this way. And thank you so much. Thank you for the interview. Thank you for all that you shared. Thank you for all you're doing in the world to really elevate women and get us to that 7-figure mark. Yes, please. More of us. Let's do this. I love it.
Wait. Thank you for inviting me into your community too. One of my favorite things is, we talked about kind of a little bit of the process, but it's like, what does that mean for your business? And so getting to like dive in with some of them on business specifics is going to be so fun. So just thank you for giving me that opportunity.
Oh, I adore you. All right. And for you, the listener, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for listening. Please share this episode with somebody who you know will benefit from listening to it. Please rate and review the podcast. Always appreciate that. And I mean it sincerely. Come join us in the Sales Maven Society. We're just waiting for you. It's a beautiful community with all kinds of great people, all kinds of great resources. You get access to me, you get coaching. It's the place to be. And you can join right now by going to salesmavensociety.com. And if you put in the coupon code 47 trial, you'll get your first month for only $47. You get to come hear Holly speak for $47. It'll be worth it. I guarantee you. All right. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. Take care.
Thanks for listening to Sales Maven. Visit us online at yoursalesmaven.com/maven for more resources to boost your confidence and skills.
Are you ready to increase your confidence in your sales conversations? I have a gift for you that is going to show you exactly how to do that. It is my Closing the Sale ebook. It's all about leveling up your confidence, giving you language to use, how to seamlessly move somebody through the sales process. And you can get it right now by going to yoursalesmaven.com/Maven. Go grab it.